Hey guys, welcome back to another Clash Royale video, and today we'll be taking a look at everything new coming in Season 8 of Clash Royale, including new emotes, a new tower skin, and new balance changes as well, including gameplay. I will have timestamps on screen right now if you want to go ahead and fast forward to any particular portion of the video. But first things first, the new theme of Season 8, as you can probably already guess based off of the home screen here, is Return to Legendary. For Season 8 of Clash Royale, we are returning to Legendary Arena. Now, going with that theme, the new tower skin is pretty funny. We have ourselves the Legendary Tower skin. Get it? Because the log is a legendary card, you now have a tower skin based purely on the looks of the log, which I think is super cool. I think it's a great looking skin, and I'm really looking forward to having it inside of Clash Royale. Now with that, we also have 3 new emotes coming out in Season 8 as well. The first of which is the Pass Royale emote, which you get for buying Pass Royale, and that is the Crying Royal Ghost emote, as you can see over here. So kind of a cool emote, guys. Definitely be a new kind of BME emote, I think, in Clash Royale. Then we have 2 more emotes coming out throughout the month of Season 8 as well at some point. We have the Glorious Log emote. And then we have my personal favorite, which is definitely going to be going into my emote deck, the Ram Rider Fist Pump. I am super excited for this one right here. Look at this. That one is so cool. Like, imagine in a battle making a great play, like a huge positive elixir trade, or taking an opponent's tower down. Spam the fist pump right there, guys, and let your opponent know that you are super happy with what you did. So those are the kind of new emotes coming out in Season 8 of Clash Royale, guys. We have the Crying Ghost, Pass Royale, and then 2 more throughout the season as well. Now, moving on here to balance changes, we have 4 cards in total being changed in the Season 8 balance update. All of them buffs, no nerfs. We have a buff for Zappies, a buff for Witch, a buff for Barbarian HUD, and a buff for the Royal Hogs. So these Zappies over here, guys, are getting a pretty interesting change. Their damage is being increased by 20%, all right? But to compensate, their hit speed is being decreased from 1.6 seconds to 2 seconds, a 25% reduction in attack speed. However, their first attack is getting a substantial boost, a lot faster, going from 1.4 seconds to 1 second. So a substantial boost to the first attack speed, and that'll basically allow it to stop a charging prince or destroy things like a fire spirit. There's also going to be adding a staggered deploy timer to those Zappies. They will now spawn 0.15 seconds apart, okay? So just a slight change for that spawn deploy timer, but overall a pretty big change to the first attack speed, the overall attack speed, and the damage of the Zappies. Hopefully, we'll see them in the meta again. The next card being changed, guys, is a buff for the Witch. As you guys all know, she's not really in a great spot right now. She's getting a faster first attack speed as well, going from a 1 second first attack speed to a 0.7. That is what, like a 30% reduction almost in first attack speed. That is huge. One of the things you notice right now with the current Witch is she's very slow with that first attack speed, especially against a swarm, because she has to reload that first attack speed every time over and over again. So that'll make her a lot better for destroying things like Skeleton Army, which you can kind of just one-shot all of the skeletons. The third card being changed here is the Barbarian HUD, and this is the exact buff that was teased on Reddit a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago or so. Basically, the Barbarian HUD lifetime is being reduced from 60 seconds to 50, so 10 less seconds. But the spawn time is being reduced from 13.5 to 12.5 seconds, so he will spawn faster between the waves. Also, the Barbarian HUD will now spawn 2 Barbarians when it's destroyed. So that way it's a bit more spell resistant. That way, if if they use Earthquake or Rocket on your Barbarian HUD, you're guaranteed at least 2 Barbarians spawning out afterwards, which can't really be touched by the spells. So very interesting change with that. And then with the Royal Hogs, we have a very simple 6% damage increase. Just a flat out damage increase for the Royal Hogs. I definitely predict the month of February is going to be the split push meta, because Royal Hogs are already right now like kind of okay on ladder. You have a substantial buff for the Zappies, and the Barbarian HUD getting a pretty cool change as well. Imagine a super heavy defense deck with Barbarian HUD in there, Zappies, and the Royal Hog split lane pressure. Definitely think it's going to be a really, really cool month of Season 8 with a couple of cards. But that's it, guys. 4 cards being changed in the month of February for Season 8. Now, one thing I do want to quickly mention here, guys, is the Season 8 balance changes will not be going live on Monday. They'll be going live on Tuesday instead, as they did in the month of January. Now, taking a quick look over here at Royale API, I think they did a pretty good job on this balance update. They addressed a bunch of the weaker cards in the meta. Barbarian HUD, obviously 0% use rate, 19% win rate in Grand Challenges right now in Clash Royale, so obviously the buff was deserved. Zappies, we all know the story of that card, so buff is definitely deserved. The Witch is the single lowest win percentage card in the entire game right now, so definitely a buff is deserved. And then we have the Royal Hogs as well, which surprisingly have a very high win rate right now in Grand Challenges at 60%. However, their use rate is so extremely low that it kind of makes the win rate not really as reliable, because the use rate is so low. It could just be a couple of like really good players using them right now, inflating their win rate. So overall, 4 fairly deserving cards getting buffed in this balance update. Definitely excited for that. Let's go ahead here, guys, and jump into some actual gameplay, looking at a few interaction changes of these cards. All right, guys, jumping into our very first battle over here, you can see the new Season 8 arena, as well as the new tower skin, the legendary tower skin. Let's go ahead and start things off with a quick wave of Zappies here on the right. And you can see the slight delay in the spawn timer, not a huge impact. But what I want to show here, guys, is a charging Prince into the Zappies. We'll see what can happen right now with the recent change. Look at this right here. Boom, it stops it. Now, with their slower attack speed, it's actually quite a bit harder to stun lock their target with their stun. As you guys know, one of the main draws of the kind of previous Zappies, as they were, was their ability to permanently stun their target, which can be quite frustrating and quite annoying, like watching your full health golem or whatever card, P.E.K.K.A. or whatever, just stay still permanently as each Zappy attacks independently. With that 2-second attack timer, it's a lot harder, I think even impossible, to permanently stun lock whatever they are targeting. Now, moving on here, let's go ahead and drop down a skeleton army over here, and we'll see how the new Witch handles the skeleton army with her faster initial attack speed right here. Watch her go up. Boom. So obviously quite a bit faster with that first hit speed. I'm going to throw a minion horde down right here and see how she handles that. Cool. So definitely a nice solid buff. That's one thing I noticed immediately right now with the Witch in the current state, is that her first attack speed is just so slow. So definitely happy to see that change for the Witch. I'm gonna go Barbarian HUD over here, and gonna Earthquake it on this side of the arena, just to showcase the extra spell value you get with that the death spawn of the Barbarian. So hopefully that Prince is taking the long way around. Wow, very interesting choice, Prince. So look at this. Prince goes in there, hits that one more time. You can see the Barbarians actually spawning out a little bit faster now out of that Barbarian HUD. And once it goes down, now we have 3 Barbarians down. That's kind of one cool element of the card as well, is that depending on the timing, if your Barbarian HUD gets destroyed immediately after like a wave of Barbarians spawned out, you could now technically have like 4 Barbarians almost spawn at once, which could provide pretty huge defense, obviously on defense, which is one thing you can't do with the current Barbarian hut. Now, I want to go ahead here and get back to Zappies quickly here, because I want to use the Zappies down here, and I want to test the Fire Spirits out to see if the Zappies are able to destroy Fire Spirits, because as they are currently in the game, they can't stop a Prince, and they can't stop Fire Spirits. So, Fire Spirits down here, do they stop them? Alright, so, with 3 Fire Spirits coming down, it does actually get that first hit off on the first one, whereas currently they just do nothing at all. So, obviously, quite a bit of difference right there. Now, all right, so one thing I just want to briefly show here, guys, is with the damage buff for the Royal Hogs, I want to show the difference from now to the current Royal Hogs. And if you split up both Royal Hogs on both lanes, how much extra damage do you get to the towers? So as you can see over here, guys, both Royal Hogs doing some work to both sets of towers, getting a decent amount of damage done. 6% doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you consider that it's per hog, it'll add up fairly quickly. And honestly, I definitely think Royal Hogs will be back in the meta in Season 8, along hopefully with Zappies as well and Barbarian hut. Hopefully it doesn't lead to an overly defensive meta, though. Obviously, all three, you know, those 2 cards, Zappies and Barbarian hut especially, are fairly defensive cards. But we're going to see how it plays out, and looking forward to hopefully the Witch getting a bit more traction as well. But anyways, guys, that is the end of the video. That is everything new coming in Season 8 of Clash Royale. Buff for Zappies, buff for Witch, buff for Barbarian hut, buff for the Royal Hogs, and then 3 new emotes. The Crying Royal Ghost as Pass Royale, and then 2 more throughout Season 8 as well. And then obviously the theme is Return to Legendary, with the arena this season being Legendary Arena. Anyways, guys, that is the end. Let me know down below what you think overall of the balance changes, of the emotes, of the tower skin. Are you a fan of them? Are you not a fan of them? What do you think of the theme of returning to Legendary Arena? It's a really cool arena, and it's been several months since we've been in there, because obviously with the new seasons. So I think it's kind of cool to come back to Legendary Arena every so often. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. But let me know what you think as well, guys. That is the end. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more Clash Royale content. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We shall see you in the next one.